we're here with Barstool Sports senior draft analyst Stephen Cheah. Stephen, every other year we've done this. What's this, third or fourth year we've done this?
This will be the third year we do it. It'll be
at least third.
The second year with sound.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Big improvements. You don't know that yet, actually. You're counting those chickens before they hatch. But this is the first year where we're coming into the draft as fans from very different points of view.
Oh, yeah. Sucks where you are, right?
Ooh, get his ass.
It's
you got that criminal under center out here, sick, making all the use of Tampa Bay sick. Just skirting the law out in.
I was gonna say they got rid of Jameis. You talking about criminals?
No, they brought in a way worse seed, Tyler.
He was in a public park yesterday that was closed.
Right, yeah, breaking the law is what I call it. What do you have to say? This guy hasn't even taken a snap yet, and already
it was misquoted. He was cited, SIGHTED, not cited with a C. So
that makes
I get that. Yeah, no, I get that. I think that's worse. The fact that they're not applying the regular laws of society to this.
No, they did. They did. He got kicked out of the park.
That's the report. I don't know if that's what actually.
No, listen, he's in shambles. Cheah, listen to him. He don't know what to do without a quarterback.
It must be tough. All the reports are Stidham is going to be the guy. They're not going to draft a quarterback, which would be a great smokescreen. But they're at 23 right now.
The latest I've heard is that Hoyer is currently our starting quarterback. So that does not really make me believe that they're not in the market for a quarterback.
Maybe they're going to make Stidham earn it, but Stidham is the quarterback.
Complete exactly one pass. He's like, well, you. Brian's like, he got me there.
Upgrade. We had, before Tom made this excellent decision that he made, we had Patrick Chung and Nate Ebner, who at the time was on the Patriots. And I asked them, like, if Tom Brady leaves in free agency, like, what's the plan? And Patrick Chung was no hesitation to be like, dude, Stidham's pretty nice. Like,
really?
It wouldn't be that bad, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there were like Gilmore's son.
No non-drug user.
Listen, that was just in his home.
That's true. It was in his
who
home.
Among us?
Yeah, not his nostrils. They can't prove that.
Not even his vacation home. Who among us hasn't been caught in a prior predicament? But I don't understand. There were a lot of people who were in a huge rush to just hand it to Stidham. Like, oh yeah, no, he's the guy. I don't understand that at all. Like, if he's cool, if he's good, sick. I'm not anticipating that though.
I mean, when he was coming out, he was the guy that, like, he has all the tools, but he just needs to sit for a bit. So, I mean, he has like great arm talent. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be okay.
I probably get to throw him, like, this is the perfect time to, like, throw him into the fire rather than be a year too conservative.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there's always guys that can be signed after the draft. There are a lot of big name quarterbacks out there. Not that think they'll sign.
Andy Dalton will be available.
Jameis.
Couple number one pick Heisman mix. You ever think about that?
Now, there are two quarterbacks from your division who are sitting out there. Who would you be more inclined to sign?
Who would I be more inclined to sign?
Not even for the Patriots, just in general.
I mean, you got to think Jameis, right? Like, Cam Newton. Cam Newton is the NFL version of Derrick Rose. Like, you're not really excited to be. It's a perfect parallel. He's MVP of the league. Took his team slightly farther in the playoffs. Didn't have a good, very big game. Injured, continuous injuries. He's not like a young guy. He's even before he got hurt, he said he didn't want to run that much. But that's like one of his biggest values. So I don't view a team, whether it be the Chargers or any of these teams that are looking to bring in a veteran, or Jacksonville that brings them in, is like, well, this is our answer. Like, Cam Newton's days of being a in pen number one are long gone. Jameis Winston, you know what? I've been off the Jameis train for quite a while, but at the same time, you look at you look at just overall his traits, and if you can find the right spot, if he can be a backup for a year or two, and kind of get what he needs to get under control and cleans up his mistakes, he could be a guy I wouldn't mind investing in backup quarterback money in.
You want this, Mick? Or should I take it?
Go ahead.
I don't think that's fair to Cam Newton, because after Cam Newton's MVP season, he's had seasons where he put up numbers better than, or even similar. Rose never had that. Right. Rose had the one peak year, which was great. It was a phenomenal year. It was an MVP year. But the last year Cam Newton was healthy, he was putting up career numbers. So, and again, he is older. He's what, 31?
30.
Yeah, he's 30. In a league where y'all just signed a 43-year-old quarterback, 30 to, and I get the injury. It's got to be the only thing. I don't know if it's like because like nobody can get a good look on him now. So it's like we just literally don't know. But I would roll those dice before Jameis.
I think that the injury part and not being able to get a clean medical on him or an updated medical certainly plays a big part with coronavirus. I think that he probably would have a home if not. But at the same time, the draft we're taping this on Tuesday. The draft is in 52 hours. We still don't know which teams are going to have a quarterback.
Do you have a clock, right? Like you looked off screen a little bit. Do you have like a countdown clock for the first pick?
I mean, it's 4:11 right now. 48 hours plus 4.
Okay, listen, so you didn't answer my question, but go on.
No, he didn't. I noticed that as well. Yeah. It's the sun over there just holding.
Yeah, like keeping score at like a youth soccer game. He's got one of those clocks.
Over the numbers. 51 hours, Pop. Yeah.
The last time a countdown clock was familiar to me was when it was Jameis Winston's first game, 2015 season, home opener against the Titans. They had a countdown clock starting, I think, in June or July in their locker room, and they got the doors blown off in that game. I think they lost like 48-21 or something like that. Marcus Mariota looked like Joe Montana.
Now,
before this is the guy you want to sign over Cam Newton?
Like, how much of that is bias, like just losing to Cam Newton a lot over the years?
Because, there's a difference.
Jameis coming off 30 interceptions.
If you sign Cam Newton, you're not signing him to be a backup. If you sign Jameis Winston, you are signing him to be a backup. So I think that's the delineation.
If you're at this point looking for a quarterback, can you say you're signing somebody to be a backup? Right? Like if it's like I'm signing Jameis to be the backup, but if he just comes, it's like, yeah, he was just better than Stidham.
He just blew Stidham out of the water.
Yeah, he was just better. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think if you're looking for or the Chargers or whoever else might still even be looking for a quarterback this year.
How incredible would a Cam Newton Bill Belichick relationship be?
I mean, for what it would cost them, which appears to be literally nothing. It feels like if you're Belichick, you'd bet on the higher ceiling, right? You'd bet on I'm Bill Belichick. I can get the most out of this guy. I'd go Cam. In any situation, I think I'd go Cam. Though I do Jameis. If Jameis goes somewhere like New Orleans and like and just gets to chill for a year and then take over when Breeze does hang it up, that's interesting. But for next year, I'd have to go Cam.
Mickey Loomis, Saints GM, is an open note. Sign Jameis Winston, have him take over for Drew Brees after he leaves. That guy stinks.
I know you. Listen, I know you'd like that, but you'd need a quarterback of the future by then too. So I mean, what can you?
That's true.
It's true. Like what?
How does it feel? Because before we get into the draft, and I'm interested to hear your Tampa pick, because I'm sure once Tom signed, that changed in your mind who you'd be targeting.
Oh yeah, big time.
But how does it feel right now? Because you've been a plucky optimist with the Bucs, even with Jameis, even when you thought when you knew he was bad, you would still try and sneak him in as like the 6th seed, like maybe if everything breaks right. Now you have actual expectations.
Oh yeah.
So how does, in your mind, how does that feel?
How does it feel as a fan of the team? Unfamiliar.
Okay.
We haven't had expectations at all. I mean, a lot of these power rankings and everything coming out now, which is ridiculous because we haven't even had the draft, has us anywhere between 9 and 13. We're the 4th or 5th best team in the league.
Oh, boy.
I can't.
Oh, baby.
I can't.
Who's above you? Who's above you?
New Orleans. Absolutely, New Orleans is above us. Kansas City.
Correct.
Baltimore.
Okay.
And then I think we're about as good as San Francisco. And that's it.
The 49ers?
Yep.
Based off of...
They just lost arguably their best defensive player. I'm just not...
They lost Nick Bosa?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know that that's true.
Yeah.
Arguably, DeForest Buckner, excellent
They
player.
lost a really good player, for sure.
Yeah, they lost the one they felt was most expendable.
Yep, they're gonna be letting go of some guys. There are reports that they're gonna get rid of Quan Alexander and somebody else that they just signed. I forget who it was off the top of my head. But you know they're in a little bit of a cap trouble, and we'll take a look at how that affects them this upcoming season. I feel like they have peaked.
They also have 2 first-round picks.
I was gonna say one.
They do, and they have no second-round picks and no third-round picks.
I know.
Yeah, having 2 firsts allows you to, go a lot of different ways. They get to replace that talent with a top, I think, 12 or 13 pick.
Yeah.
And like they're not paying Buckner, so what cap trouble are they in right now?
I mean, they have a lot of guys that are.
They just signed Ford. They just who Bosa's young. Who will
They're paying like 7 running backs.
Quan Alexander is a big salary. Yeah, D Ford. I mean, they have a lot of guys that they are paying. Richard Sherman still demands a high dollar value. They just don't. Jimmy G obviously takes up.
They paid him a good bit of his money though. Like as his contract goes on, it gets better and better year by year for them at least.
He was a guy, and I said it all along.
Sure.
He wasn't a confetti quarterback, and money on the line, chips in the table. Guy couldn't produce.
He was one throw away. Did you think he'd get that close? Because I'll be honest, I didn't think he'd get that close.
No, but he didn't do it.
You think he'll ever do it? Like, do you?
No.
I like how losing in the Super like Cam lost in the Super Bowl, Jimmy lost the ball. Get him out of the league.
What do you think about Jared Goff, Stephen Cheah?
Oh boy.
He is an elite quarterback when he has protection, and he hasn't had that lately. So he's an average.
What do you think of every quarterback ever, Stephen Cheah?
Well, elite
quarterback when they have protection.
That's fair. He has innate accuracy. When he has time to stand on his spot and throw, but when he has to move, he is not that good.
I feel like he's a very good timing.
Yes,
everything is right time. He's like, I need to put this ball here.
He is elite.
Time perfect.
Yes,
yeah.
He's a better Kirk Cousins, a richer Kirk Cousins.
Fair.
Is that even true?
I think Kirk can actually make more plays when breaks down.
I forgot about this new contract. Are you talking about the better part or the richer part?
Rich. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here debating Kirk Cousins versus Jared Goff. That's not what I'm not going to do.
Cheah pulls out another notebook.
So yeah, I am genuinely happy that you get to have real expectations. You got better uniforms now too. Everything's coming up Cheah these days.
It's been a good year. I mean, minus the pandemic, but it's going to be a.
I was going to say, historically bad year for humanity.
How was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
But yeah, well, if and when these games, if I'm you, I almost would want the pandemic to cancel this season.
No,
then the rest of your life. I'm sorry to break it to you. Tampa Bay's not winning the Super Bowl, but if they never play. You could just be like, listen, we were going to run the table with Mike Evans. That is the thing I did want to bring up to you. Are you worried that because of the pandemic, it's going to be a real rocky start if and when things do start?
No, I mean, however things start, I don't expect them to run the table and be, 16, 19 and 0. If they get off to a rough start, it's very easy to just be like, well, Tom got off to a bunch of rough starts in New England. It always turned out all right. So I'm not really worried, even if they go 2-2 or God forbid 1-3 in September. I think that they'll be fine. The stadiumless fans doesn't even worry me because I'm a remote fan and I'm attending these games. I mean, it would be cool if things were fully cured. I'm sure I'd get to meet Tom and have a drink or something like that. But,
all right, sure.
Soon. Hey, listen. He's Hub's best friend. You think Stephen Cheah couldn't? You think Stephen Cheah couldn't get a brew with Tom Brady, man?
Yeah, Hub's hung out with Tom Brady, and now the world can't go outside. That's the timeline I recall.
Hey, Stephen Cheah said, outside of that, man, coming up roses.
But I was even more like the wins and losses aren't even the thing. But Tom, even with Edelman, guys he's had years of on-field chemistry with, he would still bring him out to What?
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Trade pending physical. Patriots are trading a Rob Gronkowski and a 7th-round pick to the Buccaneers for a 4th-round pick.
Oh, baby.
The rich just got richer, Cole, man.
Oh, yeah?
Stephen Cheah, what are your instant reactions?
I mean, this is great. Shout out Leroy Insider. Leroy had this from the jump.
Ooh, the barking news.
Yep. Leroy had this before I did. I'm pretty tapped in, and I thought that this could be a possibility like a very long time ago. I didn't anticipate anything soon. This is a big move. One thing that I would say is a little bit concerning is that Jay Glazer recently on PMT asked about a potential Gronk comeback to the Bucs, and he said he's much smaller than he was when he was playing.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
but Gronk in the past has said it doesn't take him long to put on muscle, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, I think that's just like you see that with offensive tackles, like they just stop playing football and they'll drop 70 pounds. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you guys just got rid of the NFL just got rid of the weed testing too. I was going to say we might not pass the test.
Yeah, listen. You think that was a coincidence?
But you couldn't come off OJ Howard in this trade. The fuck?
No, you can have a 4th-round pick.
A 4th-round this year. Yeah.
To have
Okay.
Actually, it doesn't say. It just says Gronk and a 7th for a 4th.
So no years on any of them. Okay. Yeah, I mean
I would assume it's this year.
For nothing. Yeah, you'll take it. But boy, oh boy, Gronk suits up and comes back as a left tackle, so he can wear 69 for one last run with the Bucs. Me and Stephen Cheah's Bucs.
Yep.
And then we're drinking beer with Tom Brady.
Me and my soon-to-be pal Rob Gronkowski. What a world.
Bob, as you call him.
Yeah, he just needed a year to get right.
Coleman, give me your instant reactions to this.
I'll take a 4th for a guy who literally didn't play football up until 3 seconds ago.
Of course.
Sick.
Hey, we forgot to give you guys a comp pick.
Right.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And we had a bunch of. I'm pretty sure we had a bunch of 7s. Those don't do anything for me. I'll take a 4th all day because I don't. We got rid of our.
What's the conditional though? I feel like we got to say what's the conditional. If the
there a
conditional is like, you said the 7th was conditional, right?
No, did I?
Yeah, but you said it was
Nope.
Gronk.
A trade is pending a physical.
But
in this climate,
which way is the 7th round pick
done this year? The 7th round pick is going to Tampa, and then a 4th-round pick is going back.
Yeah, there's no conditional.
Okay, I thought it was conditional 7. I was like, one of those. If he plays 12 games, maybe it's a 5th. If he plays 16, maybe it's but 7th. Sure.
Well, that would have to make it a 2021 pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I waited to see if it was years yet.
Yeah.
But.
No, so it sounds like it's this year.
Sure.
Which would make sense to do it today and not like after the draft. Like I said, I'll take a 4th for a guy who literally just was. He holds a title belt in the WWE currently. Like right now, he has one.
So you know he's in shape.
I'm getting a call from Barstool Big Cat. Should I just ignore it?
No, put him on speaker.
Put him on.
Hold on.
Put Daniel on.
Hello. I'm taking Mickstape right now. What should I do?
Agreed with Caps.
Go live. Okay.
He's breaking his brain.
Thanks.
There's like was it Joe Dumars?
All right. How do I do this? All right. Hold on.
Let's go live on Periscope. Show the people.
For the people that couldn't hear,
can you guys
that was
me?
Dan Big Cat's.
I can't hear you.
Big Cat, and he called Stephen Cheah to say get on Periscope. Stephen Cheah didn't know what to do. Dan, smart man, Big Cat, said do both. We're currently waiting for Stephen Cheah to do both. Hence the no having issues. Just narrating our way through here.
Yeah, it works. Yes.
Modern technology works.
All right. You guys want to see my closet?
Yeah.
It's pretty messy, but this is where I take a lot of my.
Oh, boy. How long till that's a Brady jersey?
He already ordered that.
No, but I mean like the flag that's above.
How about the team? Not a guy.
Now it's permanent. True.
All right. So how do I do this? I trust that you guys with your handy editing skills will certainly edit this part out of the pod, correct?
Without question, standing.
Oh boy.
Don't say anything. Any sources that you don't want.
Listen, this is what happens when you've got a real team now. Things happen on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Schefter credited Leroy.
He had to. Leroy had it first.
I was like, he's a professional. Would have been assault if he didn't.
2 years before the draft, Patriots agreed. Wait, 2 years ago before the draft, the Patriots agreed to send Gronk to the Lions. Gronk informed them he'd opt for retirement over playing with a quarterback other than Tom Brady.
Correct.
Now, after a year of retirement, wow, hell yeah. Okay, how do I do Periscope?
Yeah, like that was the whole Lions thing, right? He's like, "Is Brady coming with me?" No,
right.
Then I'm not. Yeah, then I'm not going.
Yeah. We literally tried to trade him the year we won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well,
he was a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I guess I better throw on the jersey.
Hey guys, I mean it's only right, Steve.
See, just go live. Like what?
Yeah. What? Steve was like, I gotta go get my notes I had for just in case there was a breaking Gronk trade. Put on the creamsicle, Steve.
You're gonna get roasted for the undershirt. Don't look at my nippies.
Stephen Cheah is nude right now. Stark naked.
All right. So I guess I'm just gonna hold up both of these.
Yeah, you are.
All right.
Yeah, just put your computer down and hold your phone, so we can still see you at least.
Rest your phone on your.
I'm just gonna do this. Is this okay?
All right. Do whatever you need to do.
All right. How do I do this? How's the hair look? Okay.
Never better.
Is it the dot? Nope. I go
Steve,
live.
have you went on Periscope before?
I do.
I'm going to turn Periscope on my phone, recording the computer. If you don't get the fuck out.
I used to do this during the halftime stuff. Oh wait,
Steve, I don't know if it'd be my head of scouting if yeah.
All right.
Let's dance. Double duty, Cheah.
All right, I'm live. I was taping an episode of Mickstape with my friends Coleman, Whiskers, and then my phone started going off, and the Bucs traded for Rob Gronkowski. You might have heard of him, best tight end of all time. Trade compensation. Oh yeah, credit Leroy. Leroy had this weeks ago,
yes.
2-3 weeks ago. Shout out Leroy. Huge scoop. Way before I had any of this. Way before Rappaport, Schefter, anybody. Leroy insider. So if this is indeed the end for Leroy, shout out to him going out on top. Excellent scoop. Weeks in advance. It happened. Good for him. Rob Gronkowski traded to the Bucs for a 4th round pick with the 7th going back. So we still have the same number of draft picks. Give up a 4th. I mean, it's a good deal. 4th round pick. There's a weak tight end draft. The Bucs were pretty stacked at tight end with OJ Howard, Cam Brate, Tanner Hudson, Jordan Leggett. But it's hard to argue with the best tight end of all time. Now
you think they can make some minutes for Rob Gronkowski? You think they can?
You might have heard of him. Going to be a first ballot walk-in Hall of Famer.
Jason Witten caught like 60 passes this year, dude. Like Gronk is going to be back to his old self in no time.
Yeah, but it's a crazy day. Now we were just talking on the pod that I'm taping now. When is this coming out, guys? Thursday?
Yes, Thursday morning.
Thursday morning. We were just talking about what it's like to have expectations, and I was saying it's unfamiliar because we were in uncharted waters. I mean, not uncharted water. I mean, it's been a very long time. It's been about 17 years before we had expectations this high. It'll be interesting. Now they have what is unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, it's a good problem to have, a very cluttered tight end room. Like I said, with my buddy Cam Brate, OJ Howard, who's first round pick who hasn't specifically performed up to expectations. Jordan Leggett, Tanner Hudson is a nice player. So we'll see what they do. If any additional moves are made, the draft is 53 and a half hours away. So
oh boy,
something could be in the works. Well, you never know. But it's a good move. It certainly bolsters the expectations for this team. Gronk, said last year after he was agreed in principle, or the Pats agreed in principle to a trade with the Lions, that he would only play with Tom Brady. So he got his wish this time. We got him, and it's an exciting day. It's hard to not be I want to say it's hard to not be a Bucs fan, but it's a great time to be a Bucs fan. That's what I'm saying. Tom Brady also kicked out of a public park. Tough. You got to abide by the rules.
Address both sides.
He's got a big enough yard he could throw some stuff around, I'm sure. But shout out Tom Brady, shout out Gronk, shout out Jason Light, whole Bucs front office, that organization. We're on to big things. Let's go Bucs.
Cheah out.
Yeah, you need another sign off on top of that.
Did I?
No,
you need a
what?
You killed
Nothing.
it, Steve.
4,000 people are watching. That's pretty cool.
Not bad. Back to business, Mr. Mock.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta change the shirt because I get sweaty armpits when I start talking a lot.
Yeah. Stephen Cheah may be the realest man alive.
I've been saying it for years.
I feel like the evidence is really adding up.
Sorry, what's up?
Back to the mock.
Gronk got traded to the Bucs. Gronk got traded to the Bucs.
She's like, who did the what now? All right, Stevie, I have a hypothetical for you.
All right, I'm back. Yep.
Are we? Is there any more Gronk talk? I don't want to step on that.
No, I don't think so. Unless he fails his physical, which would be a disaster. But
that'd be bad. Mick, you got anything else?
I hope he passes his physical. We need that fourth.
I was gonna say, one, it'd be fun to have that fourth. It'd be fun to have Gronk back in the league. Hypothetically speaking, Steve, what would it take for the Bengals to move number one?
That's a good question because I think it depends on how they graded the guys, because they were at the Senior Bowl and they coached Justin Herbert. They had a really good grade on him and they really liked him. He was the MVP of that game. So if you have experience with a quarterback that, could go number 5, number 3, whatever, maybe even a little bit lower, I would love to see them take Burrow, and then once Herbert is secured, you flip it to that team for a trove of assets. So that would be my preferred play.
What's the minimum you would need, though? Like, if you're the Bengals, at what, like 3 first-round picks, 4? Like 3 and some change, 3 and a...
I forget who it was. Maybe it was Peter King or someone threw out that they should trade their picks this year. So it's 5, the Dolphins, 5, 19,
and 26.
5, 19, and 26, and next year's first for Burrow. Which, if you love them that much and you have all these assets, maybe, but if I was the Bengals and I liked Justin Herbert, not necessarily loved him, but you had a good enough grade on him where you think he could be a franchise quarterback and you could get that type of return, I would do that 100 out of 100 times.
So you would take a quarterback you liked and 3 picks over a quarterback you loved?
Assuming that they love Joe Burrow. So
I don't know if he loves them, but I think they're in on Burrow.
Yeah.
So if you love him, you think you just take the pick. No, there's no amount of picks, because I do think the Dolphins can make it interesting because they've got 2 next year as well. That if they really want to make some moves.
Yeah. Miami has flexibility to go all around the board. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, because and everyone that I'm talking to says their interest in Herbert is very real. Now, when I'm going to put out the mock draft on on Thursday morning. So kind of pairing with this show, I have them taking Herbert at 5, but not necessarily because I don't think that they like Tua. I think they like Tua very much, but it would take assets to go up and get Tua. I can't see Tua fall.
Okay, so we'll get to that, I'm sure. So if you're again the Dolphins, why wouldn't the Dolphins sign Cam Newton and use these 3 picks and see what they can do for this year?
I mean, you already have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's going to win a couple games. Like he's always just going to be good for 4 to 5 wins. Just for the quarterback, he's never going to go 0-16, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So Cam Newton gets you what, an extra win or 2, maybe if he stays healthy.
I feel like that's downside. Upside is, what if he's just healthy now? What if he played 2 games this year? What if a season off? Is it like we're talking about Gronka had a year off, now he's back? What if Cam just needed 14 games off?
But Cam also said he just doesn't want to run anymore. So if that's like his big value prop, like
when did he say this though? Did he say this when he was still hurt?
No, it was this season going into, like, he had the shoulder injury, but then he had an ankle injury in preseason. So he said this when he was theoretically healthy.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see. But again, if he's just available for nothing, like again, if you said he adds a game, maybe nothing at worst, and you could still have your picks for next year if you like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or whoever.
But that's the thing.
Want to get Herbert,
it's similar to NBA. You'd rather be, the worst team in the league or second worst team in the league than be the fringe 8-9 seed in the playoffs. So the NFL draft without a lottery even makes that even harder.
Sure.
Adding an extra couple wins with Cam, but you're not really a contender, I feel like doesn't help your vision for the future.
True. Okay. Do you see a way where he gets back to his old self, or you just think that's just done?
I mean, I think it's going to be pretty tough. His old ways was very much a running quarterback. So, he could certainly air it out from the pocket. He's, 4,000-yard passer many times over. No one's questioning his arm strength or his ability to read defenses or anything like that. But a huge value prop with Cam Newton was he could rush for 100 yards any game. If he's already saying that he doesn't want to run anymore, that's a huge part of the game. Now he's just a standstill drop back passer, and you're comparing him against guys that exclusively do that. Ryan Fitzpatrick is that. I do think that Cam is better than Ryan Fitzpatrick at that, but not to the point where it would make a difference long term.
True.
Coleman, what's going on?
I'm just trying to tweet for the main account.
This Gronk news got him down bad. Just let him cope, Steve. He'll be back.
No, really. Like I said, he literally didn't even play.
I remember. Yeah. He was on this show. I know how down bad he was.
That's true. He was. Yeah. It doesn't get lower than this.
So, okay, number 2. Who? Yeah. Do you want to tip that pick? I don't want to step on any picks.
Yeah, let's get it to the actual mock.
I'll say it'll be on the same day as the mock, but.
Yep, sure.
So we're going through. Yeah, who do you got? Burrow still going 1?
Burrow number 1, Chase Young number 2. That's just chalk. It's really hard to exactly pin what the number 3 pick will be. If we want to play it conservative, Jeff Okudah or Derek Brown is going to be one of the options there. Maybe outside chance of Isaiah Simmons. I can't see all the talk with Miami and Herbert just makes me think that Tua is more that guy. But at the same time, I do think the Chargers are very interested in Tua. So I have the Chargers jumping up to number 3 from 6. I think that the Dolphins do like Herbert a lot and would be okay with Herbert just sliding to them, which I do think they do. Dave Gettleman, the GM of the Giants, has presided over 7 drafts, has never once traded down. I feel like that this is not going to happen again this year.
Yeah.
So I have the Chargers giving up number 6, and then a pretty modest, typically you have to overpay to get a quarterback. I don't think there's going to be that type of market, even though the Dolphins do.
What kind of haul you think that it takes to get that?
A second rounder this year, which is pick 37, and then a 4th rounder, 112. So they're giving up 3 total picks to move up to 3 spots. And actually on the draft compensation chart, the draft value chart, it works out perfectly that those picks equal 600 points, which is the difference between the 3rd and 6th pick. So like value wise, it makes sense. When you do move up for a quarterback, you tend to overpay. I don't foresee that this year. With the 4th pick, we've got the New York Giants taking right tackle out of Iowa, Tristan Wirfs. I actually got the pleasure to talk to this guy today. And he confirmed that he had 3 Zoom meetings with the Giants, and they seem the most interested in him. So it looks
what do you think of the Giants being just absolute psychopaths and taking someone like Ruggs here?
Ruggs? No.
I can't believe it.
No, I mean, you'd be hard. I'm not going to say you'd be hard pressed to find, because there are a few GMs that have Ruggs as the top ranked receiver, but most teams don't even have him as a top 2 receiver. So I would be very surprised if the Giants
have him as a top 2 receiver. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the
also,
consensus.
it only takes one team.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely. I do think he's going to be a top 15 pick. But I have, the Giants going with Tristan Wirfs to start the run offensive tackles. We've got, or not necessarily a run, there will be a run coming shortly. I've got Justin Herbert going 5 to Miami, as we spoke about. They're just going to stand pat with their assets, kind of, Tyler, like you suggested. And just
Wait, who went 3?
Tua to the Chargers 3.
Charger. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So then
now
Detroit,
Lions 6. Got you.
Detroit trades back to the 6th. They get the guy they probably would have taken at 3 in Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback out of Ohio State. I think Okudah in 5 years, I think he might be the best player in the whole draft. When we look back on things, he's just like a perfect cornerback prospect.
Yeah, can we break these into sections? Like, you want to talk about like a couple picks at a time? Like, I don't know how much you like 1 or 2. Is there any chance Washington or even New York just takes Tua? Like, he didn't fall this far in your mock. Is there any chance Washington just does a Kyler Murray, Josh Rosen? Like, okay, maybe this guy's just better.
No, from what I've read is that a friend of Ron Rivera, who's like a former coach that worked with him, said like you can put Chase Young in Sharpie, and that was months ago, and he just confirmed it like it's 100%.
Okay, yeah,
like,
I mean, again, he's probably the best prospect in the draft, right? Regardless of position.
Yes.
So yeah, you can't go wrong with that. But
yeah, I'm always a little bit worried about these defensive ends that go like really, really high. Like you see like Mario Williams, Jadeveon Clowney. Williams turned out to be a good player, but it took him a little bit of time. Do they always? Yeah. Do they always? I mean, Jadeveon Clowney had 3 sacks last year. I mean, the guy's looking to get paid.
Yeah, we don't look at sacks or batting average anymore, Stephen Cheah. You're a modern man.
It's a free base.
I mean, he was 14th in the NFL in quarterback hurries. So like, okay, but you want to make $21 million a year off that? Like that guy is just asking for crazy money.
I mean, listen, and an unrelated note, he's still a free agent. So I don't know how they
Yeah, his price tag is going to come down. I think a lot of that also too has to do with coronavirus, because he had a couple injuries this year, and I mean he's a guy who, you guys obviously being basketball guys as well, he's had a microfracture surgery already. So not the best thing you want to hear out of an athlete. You need to be explosive. But yeah, I think the Redskins are pretty much locked in. I think the Giants are for the most part locked in. Okay. So teams that I think could move around are the Chargers and the Dolphins.
Okay. Yeah, for the Lions, like the winner of this portion feels like the Lions to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Okudah is just what I saw the video where they just had him just flipping his hips, whatever direction they call it. And that's where it's like, oh, wow. Like if he can just do that and he already has the skills, the technique, the prestige came from the pro, like all that, then yeah, I don't disagree. He might just, if he might just be the best player, like you said, a couple of years down the line.
There's a school of thought amongst not a minority, but like maybe about a third of the league that apparently has C.J. Henderson rated over Okudah. C.J. Henderson, a quarterback out of Florida.
Right? Yeah. Interesting.
He ran a faster time. Like I think he ran a 4.39 40, and Okudah was like a 4.48. But everything tape-wise, Okudah is the better player. Henderson also is just not a good tackler, like not a willing tackler, which is not what you want to see out of your corner, and also just not great ball production.
So outside of speed, is he better at anything than Jeff Okudah? Because if that's then I wouldn't even entertain.
Well, Henderson's a big, like coming off a bad year, but was really good the year before, right?
Yes.
And Florida switched like from zone to man or man to more zone.
This is a story that I also heard when Vernon Hargreaves was coming out, and I was like, oh, well, he just played a lot of
I thought Vernon Hargreaves was going to be the real deal. So
yeah, he was not. And I mean, a lot of this is, prospect by process, neck up stuff. So hopefully CJ Henderson can be the real deal, but there is some buzz with Henderson going as high as inside the top 10.
I know you shouldn't judge like future off the past, but who are these great Florida defensive backs in the league right now?
Right.
Like, am I legit?
Keanu Neal before the injuries was pretty good.
Keanu Neal was very good.
Yeah,
injuries took their toll, but he was very good.
Joe Hayden.
Joe, that was a long time ago, man.
I mean, he's still.
I agree. He's good, but it's like Joe Hayden was
very good career. If he was picked in whatever it was, 7th overall, was top 10 pick. Nice career.
Yeah.
Been a Pro Bowler a few times.
Yeah. I guess if that's the most recent example, then that's the
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So going through this, how quickly do you want me to go through this?
What do you pick 7 now?
Yeah.
Go. Let's say it's like 7 through 12, or 7 through 12, or 13, and we'll.
Okay. Let's do them like a half dozen at a time. So Carolina at 7, I got them sticking and going Isaiah Simmons. This is a pick that I would expect them to at least shop a little bit. They have a lot of holes. Luke Kuechly just retired. They're having just a ton of overhaul with coaching change. So Isaiah Simmons is kind of the easy play. Carolina's always been known for drafting linebackers. Obviously, they have a different personnel staff in there. Marty Herney's the GM now. But I still have them going Isaiah Simmons, best player available here and can help the defense. It was kind of a toss-up between him and Derek Brown, but when you get down to it, Derek Brown is a defensive tackle that doesn't rush the passer super well. So he doesn't have like big sack numbers. He has the potential to and has a great motor, but he's not a guy who like has extreme production like an Aaron Donald or someone like this.
It's Kinlaw who people are starting to put above Brown right now, right?
He's like the 1B to his 1A right now.
Right.
So I mean he's right in that group. But yeah, I have Simmons going 7, then 8 is kind of where I have a surprise pick. I've got CeeDee Lamb going to the Cardinals, even after they traded for Duke Hopkins.
I would like that.
I'd like it a lot if I was Kyler. Well, I'd love it and hate if I was Kyler Murray, but boy, oh boy.
What would you hate about that if you were Kyler Murray?
I need offensive line.
For sure.
That's it. That's literally it. Like if it's offensive line or the best receiver available, those are the. If he goes anything else, then I feel like he's like, dude, what the hell?
Just safety.
Yeah.
Grant Delpit. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What made you go Lamb over any of the offensive like tackles still available?
Familiarity. Kyler. I've heard through back channels that Kyler has lobbied for CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
They, with Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, obviously DeAndre Hopkins, they have a stable of receivers, but at the same time, you want to get your quarterback as comfortable as possible. And Cliff Kingsbury also runs 4 wide offense very often. So it's not like he won't be on the field. He's going to be a guy that can contribute immediately and should be, difference maker. And Larry Fitzgerald, I mean, how many snaps are you counting on from that guy? He certainly can still produce, but he's going to be around for what? Is this his last year? We've been saying that for like 5 years now.
To that point, I kind of go the other way. It's like, why couldn't he do another 3 years? Like, I don't know. He's just going to keep catching like 75 passes. If he just keeps dropping on the depth chart, like he goes from like 3rd to 4th, he's just consistently 4th off Hopkins, off these other 3 guys you just listed. He might just play forever, man.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely could. He's one of the best receivers of all time, but he's certainly not in his 2008 playoff form.
Sure.
Okay, so we've got CeeDee Lamb going 8 to the Cardinals. I have a trade at the 9th pick. The Atlanta Falcons trade up and get Derek Brown from Auburn, defensive tackle.
Okay.
This is a spot that makes sense. They've had trouble containing the run. Grady Jarrett is a really nice player. They have a defensive tackle, but a very highly paid player. as well, and more of a pass rushing specialist. So I have them moving up for Derek Brown, who they have met with, I believe, at the Combine and a virtual visit. In exchange for that, so they would be giving up the 9th pick and the 116th pick, which is a 4th rounder, for the 16th pick and the 47th pick, which is a 2nd rounder. So not a bad return at all.
Okay.
The 10th pick, we have another trade. We've got the Cleveland Browns trading the 10th pick to the Washington Redskins for Trent Williams. This is a trade that just makes way too much sense.
You think it'll cost that much?
Yes. I've inquired into the league, and the going rate for
Trent. Your sources come into play?
Yes.
Okay.
The going rate for Trent Williams is a 1st plus, so probably more than a 1st. But if you're talking about a 10th pick in the draft,
10th feels like for a guy that didn't play all year, another guy just went for a 4th, man.
Yeah, far different.
All these offensive, but with all these like young offensive, with Willis still on the board, with my man from Georgia still on the board, with Louisville.
So that's the thing. Even with these, top 4 offensive tackles, no position, especially offensive tackle, is a guarantee to turn out. And if the Browns still have Baker Mayfield on his rookie contract, they're in a mode where they need to win pretty soon. Trent Williams, I believe, is 31 or 32 years old. So he's certainly, much older than a rookie and is going to command a lot more money with a contract, but they have that room to pay him, and they need to protect Baker Mayfield, who has shown, 2 years ago, he was a much better quarterback when he had time than last year when he had a much less time. So the Browns make that deal. And from what I've heard, the Browns inquired with the Redskins almost weekly last year about Trent Williams' availability. I think Josina Anderson tweeted today that the offer for the was on the table to the Browns. So I anticipate that being a move that gets made.
You said it was just the first rank, just straight up, just one for Williams?
Correct. There could be some other stuff, but I have it just being as that 10th pick. So, premium pick.
I was just saying, it feels like a great haul for Washington, and the Browns are like, again, 31-32 is old, but it's not like last legs. Oh, you still got hopefully this year and a couple of good years left.
And when he's playing, he was either 1 or 2 left tackle in the league. So, they finally filled Joe Thomas's vacated spot. So the 11th pick, I've got the Jets sticking.
Are the Redskins competent enough to make a trade given the type of draft they have to undersee this year?
Bruce Allen is no longer the GM. So throw the history books out. I think the Redskins are going to be.
I don't. Who's call? Is Rivera calling shots? Who's the GM now?
I don't know who the name of the new Redskins.
I don't know if they hired anyone. I know Bruce Allen was bad. I don't know who is calling the shots now. They might be bad. I know Bruce Allen was bad. So him out that feels like an upgrade regardless. Why wouldn't Washington sign Cam Newton, Ron Rivera? Interesting.
Got Kyle Allen, so that's not a great sign for Cam.
Yeah, apparently they didn't want to give too much competition to Dwayne Haskins, who had like a pretty good last few games last season.
Yeah, get rid of his left tackle.
Yeah. Well, he never had him to begin with.
True.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, so the 11th pick, I've got the Jets sticking and taking Alabama right tackle Jedrick Wills. A lot of Twitter scouts actually think this guy's the best tackle in the draft. Yeah.
Who did you have Washington taking 10?
Washington 10, takes Georgia left tackle Andrew Thomas.
Okay, gotcha.
A lot of Twitter scouts has him as the 4th best tackle. I think he's going to go higher than is being commonly mocked.
He was. I heard his name like going into the season, and sounds like he did what was expected. This is just a heavy tackle year, so yeah.
Correct, and he just kind of dropped since the season's over. He's not like a body beautiful guy or like a guy that works out necessarily well, but at the end of the day, he just gets his job done. He just gets his block done. He's a really good run blocker with like versatility in the pass game. He could play right tackle or left tackle. Jedrick Wills, right tackle for the Alabama Crimson Tide, going to the Jets. GM Joe Douglas was an offensive lineman himself. The Jets need a ton of help across the line. They signed a bunch of kind of rogue free agents to very short deals. I think they got to protect Sam Darnold. They go with Wills here. And then another surprise, number 12, the Las Vegas Raiders. I have them taking Henry Ruggs. I think this is the guy that.
Okay.
I think this is the guy that Gruden wants. CeeDee Lamb is off the board, who they may have. I'm sure Mayock has ranked higher, but Gruden loves speed, and this is the guy that they go with. I think Gruden is not that different from Al Davis in that aspect. I know in the 2007 or 2008 draft, he really wanted Chris Johnson. They took Aqib Talib in Tampa, and he's regretted that ever since. I think this is a move where he can kind of make good on that.
Okay. The one question I have for that, I guess, section, is there any chance that Simmons is like it's like jack of all trades, master of none, but in a bad way? Like he ends up without a position. Like I remember like a different caliber athlete, but going into the draft, like Jabril Peppers, it was like he can do a little bit of everything. So is there a chance that he like
you're talking about Ruggs?
No, Simmons, Isaiah Simmons.
Okay. Yeah, Simmons. I mean, he's lined up at nickelback, linebacker, safety, so he can really do it all. I would think of him more like a Derwin James, where he's like a safety / like money backer. You can bring him down the box. He could blitz. I would use him as an inside linebacker.
Gotcha.
Our pal Forverts has been screaming about this for months, that he's a terrible linebacker and a true safety.
That's what I wonder. Like, is he? Like, is it going to depend on who gets him? Like, if it's is his success going to be as like if a smart defensive coordinator gets him? It's like, no, just play safety or just do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to really depend on and that's really the case with all these draft prospects. So they need to go the right.
You have Simmons going?
I have Isaiah Simmons going 7th to Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm worried they're going to be like, yeah, you're our Kuechly replacement, as opposed to someone who's going to be like, no, you're our Derwin, you're our playmaker. We're going to put you everywhere, but if we were to put you at a position, it would be safety.
Right. Yeah, he needs, but at the same time, you look at it, 7th pick is awfully high for a safety. Like you could probably trade the 7th pick.
Oh boy, Stephen Cheah.
I'm just saying.
Stephen Cheah, you said the same exact thing to me about Derwin James.
I was right about. I'm happy you took Vita Vea over Derwin James.
No, not even about Vita. I mean, because I think Derwin should have been gone before that. So this ain't even about the Bucks, but about taking a safety that high. If he's like an All-Pro Jamal Adams type, if he's a Derwin James type All-Pro, you don't take that high.
I mean,
Minkah Fitzpatrick was I think a 10 or 11th pick.
Yeah, Minkah was actually the one that I wanted. I mean, Derwin James played no games last year. The best ability is availability, my friend.
The year before that, he was all 2 positions.
That's cool. But you can't count on him. You can't count on him injury-wise.
Stephen Cheah doesn't like injury. I see. He just doesn't like. I like the consistency though. Doesn't like injury.
He had a Jones fracture going into the combine. So I mean, this was known. He was.
Missed a good bit of his last year at FSU. Like, there's a reason he slid. I was just, if we're talking about this, can't take a safety there. I think Jamal Adams probably went a couple spots too low.
Fair. I mean, Jamal Adams is a great player, but he's probably going to get dealt for a high pick in the not so distant future.
Oh boy. Be a real shame if Stephen Cheah had a mock
decision makers.
Yeah, they just traded for the Raiders' other pick. They just turned 19 into Jamal Adams.
Well, the whole part of that is he's certainly better than whatever you get that pick, but then you have to commit. You basically have to reset the safety market with his contract.
Yep.
All right. So
for next 5 or 6, who you got?
13th pick, I've got the Niners. This was the pick that was traded for DeForest Buckner. I haven't taken Jerry Jeudy here.
Love it.
Wide receiver out of Alabama. He's a good fit. He played a lot in the slot, but he can play anywhere. He's going to be a really good receiver. Line up anywhere all over the formation. Extremely, extremely good route runner. That's something that translates immediately. Yeah, Chad Johnson would be a good comparison route running wise. He was also an excellent route runner. 14th pick, I've got the Bucks taking Mekhi Becton, tackle out of Louisville. He's going to be the one that he's the one I'm going to have sliding the most. He actually had a positive drug test at the combine.
What school did he go to?
Louisville.
Sad.
So my Mekhi Becton, 6'7", 364 pounds, ran a 5.140, which was faster than my 40 a couple weeks ago.
Didn't he just fail a drug test?
That's what he said. He literally just felt like this week, right?
Yeah. Well, it came out this week. It was from the combine.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And if he passes his next one, it won't even go on his like NFL record or something like that.
The part that worries me is I didn't see a report that it was marijuana, so it could have been other stuff, which is always.
Well, even then, if it is marijuana, you knew when the combine was. Yes, like this doesn't change every year. So...
Yeah, but my friend Ross Tucker had a good comment on it. He said that if a guy gets popped with a drug test at a combine, but he never got popped at Louisville, that speaks more to Louisville's drug testing, because there's no way before the biggest job interview of his life, that's the first time he did drugs.
Just slide it in, yeah.
All right.
I'm just no.
All right, so we got Judy to the Niners, we got Becton to the Bucks, then we got C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida, to the Denver Broncos. They just lost Chris Harris in a trade with the Chargers, or I believe they cut him, so that's certainly an area of need. Receivers is somewhere they could look. I don't have them going Justin Jefferson this early, so it's a very deep receiver draft, so I have them going C.J. Henderson at 15.
So you think Jefferson's your fourth receiver?
Yeah, I mean, I personally like Jefferson more than Ruggs by a pretty good deal.
Okay. So what is it? It's just the speed, right? Like he's just got that rare speed, like 4.2, legit 4.2 is.
Yeah, he's a little bit different than like speed guys you've seen in the past, like John Ross and things like that. He can make contested catches, which is something that speed receivers are not known for. And he's also got really big hands, so drops aren't an issue for him. So
like is Tyreek Hill like a decent comparison for him?
You never want to compare a guy to someone that's had that much success, but like body type wise, have you seen Henry Ruggs like high school basketball clips?
That's what I'm saying. Just that caliber of athlete. Yeah. Like just that big. How tall is like 5'11"? How tall is he?
Yeah.
I think he's 6 on the nose.
Okay. So
5'11".
Yeah, and 5'6". Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, with that kind of speed, I don't hate Jefferson over him is interesting. I guess we'll get to that when Jefferson goes.
Yeah. 16 is where I have the Jags trading back in that trade for Derek Brown. I have them taking Javon Kinlaw, which arguably is a better value there.
I was gonna say that's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they need defensive line help? I know Jags fans like Taven Bryan.
Yeah, Jags need everything. So
okay, fair. More than fair.
I mean, just lost Calais Campbell.
True. Good point.
Yeah, I'm sure they would like to see C.J. Henderson here, but if he goes the pick before Kinlaw, I think is an easy one to pencil in. Dallas Cowboys 17, Clavon Chason, edge rusher out of LSU. This is not a guy that I really like personally as a prospect.
Really?
9.5 career sacks at LSU.
Are you scouting the traits? Are you scouting the production, Stephen Cheah? Daniil Hunter had like 5 career sacks at LSU.
That's true.
That guy's unreal.
But Arden Key also had like 3 sacks, and he's not good.
That's the point. Listen, Daniil Hunter is nice enough to where it's worth the risk.
No, for sure.
And they're from the same school, so we shall see. But Chason's he's just not like super big. I think he's like 6'1", about 253.
I was Arden Key too.
Right. So yeah, we'll see. He had like a nice playoffs. I think he had 2 sacks. In which was it? I don't know if it was the Oklahoma game or the Clemson game. But he showed up big time in the postseason and certainly boosted his stock to where he's like almost unanimously the number 2 edge rusher in the class. 18, big surprise.
Hold on. Before we get to your big surprise.
Yep.
Do you think Denver is locked into lock?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So that you don't see them reaching for like a Love or someone like that?
No,
they're in on Drew Lock.
Okay, good. I don't hate it. I just didn't know what you had heard or if you saw anything like that. And 2, we're halfway through the first round. Steven, give us an ad read.
Ooh, I would love to.
I know you would.
Oh my God, I had such a funny ad read today. So we interviewed Tristan Wirfs for Going Deep, and he was to promote Oikos, and he did a short read during the interview, and then at the end, Willie was like, "Hey, like just big fella to big fella, what's your favorite snack?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a bologna sandwich." I was like, "Tristan, let me school you on something. That's a wrong answer. Your favorite snack is Oikos 000." It was.
He'll learn. He's a young guy. He'll learn.
This is going to be episode 2 of the week, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Whoever sends these emails is great. They must be awesome at their job. All right. So, in between laundry cycles, incoming emails, you've got plenty on your to-do list. Give yourself one less thing to worry about. How nice would that be? One less thing to worry about. Let DoorDash take care of your next meal. If you want Chinese, you want pizza, maybe some froyo, there's something for everyone on DoorDash. Continue supporting restaurants in your community safely. There are thousands of restaurants open for delivery on DoorDash and need your patronage now more than ever. Support your favorite restaurants on DoorDash. You've counted on the restaurants and they're counting on you. While dining rooms may be closed, they're still open for delivery with DoorDash. Ordering is super easy. Just go to the DoorDash app, choose what you want to eat, and your food will be left safely outside your door with contactless delivery drop-off setting. With over 300,000 partners in the US, Puerto Rico, Canada, Australia, you can support your go-tos from your favorite national restaurants like Chipotle, Wendy's, the Cheesecake Factory even. Many of your favorite local restaurants are still open for delivery, so just DoorDash them, get them delivered right to your door safely. Right now, listeners of the Mickstape Pod can get your first order of $15 or more, $5 off, and 0 delivery fees for your first month when you download the DoorDash app and enter code MIX. That's MICS. That's $5 off your first order and 0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code MIX. Don't forget, that's code MIX for $5 off your first order with DoorDash. If I can be frank, guys, so obviously in these self-isolation times, we have ordered some DoorDash, and I've used your guys' code MIX, so you're welcome.
Oh,
I've actually used it twice.
Use it again.
Yeah, well, we don't have that many phones, but yes.
Get my phone.
Yeah. It's an app that does, you put in like one card and it keeps generating you fake cards to do signups like that. Allegedly. It's an app.
Yeah.
We don't encourage that for DoorDash, but definitely sign up once for DoorDash using promo code MIX.
Steven, how has your world changed ever since Erica got into the ad read game?
Erica's great. I mean, she asked for her reads pretty well in advance, but she's like very open to feedback and coachable and very enthusiastic about it. So I love having Erica do reads.
Well, I was talking to her today, and I know one thing, because obviously before she had a podcast, this wasn't something that should ever come across her desk, but she's now seeing the copy we get and how not always, and this isn't on you, but it's on, not, they're not like uniform, like one brand and another brand.
Yeah.
They don't write the same type of copy. And sometimes you get like a bunch of stuff in red and it's like, don't read any of this. And it just throws you off. So has she been like, hey, clean this shit up, or has that not even come up?
No, she has had 2 different pieces of ad copy and they've both been pretty lean. I think I would be pretty thorough before sending her a very wild piece of copy. Sometimes when I get copy, I actually lean them down for you guys. So that's a little how the
and there's still chaos even after that.
You know how many pieces of ad copy I traffic a week? It's like 150 now.
Sure. Yeah. Listen, I'm sure it's a lot. We get a lot of shows.
A lot of people are like, "Hey, do you remember that Advertiser X piece of copy?" I was like, "No,
yeah, sure
absolutely not." Yeah.
It's like
in one ear, in one ear, out the other. Like I'll fix it as best I can. But yeah, so occasionally we do get some very long ones, in which case I always do push back. But sometimes they come in like PDF and you can't really edit it, and it's like, all right.
What's the big surprise in the draft?
Isaiah Wilson, right tackle out of Georgia, going very high, number 18 to the Dolphins. Everything I've heard from what a big surprise will be, Isaiah Wilson is the name that continually comes up. He's Daniel Jeremiah's. I think he is like not even in the top 50, or maybe he's like right above 50. But him going at 18, and the Dolphins is the team that I haven't pegged to. A, because they're going to need someone to help protect whoever they get, which in this case is Justin Herbert. B, he is from the Bronx and went to the same high school as Brian Flores, head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that's some dumb shit that will get somebody drafted.
So
that's exactly some.
That is a link. I had him
over Josh Jones, even like, or you think it's just one of those? They just fall in love with a guy.
Yeah. So I debated because Miami has 18 and 26, and I was like, maybe I can put him there.
Jackson,
Maybe I can put him there at 26. But no, I put him at 18 because what I've heard is he could go before guys that you would expect. So I think that there could be maybe a little run before then, or like that's at least when the Josh Joneses, Austin Jacksons, Ezra Clevelands of the world are in play to be picked. So I'm going to put Isaiah Wilson 18 to the Miami Dolphins.
Love
Ezra Cleveland's what? Boise
State. Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. I mean, he had, you talk about the two tackles. So Austin Jackson and Ezra Cleveland both had years that weren't as good as previous years due to, in Ezra Cleveland's case with injury, he got turf toe in the opening game.
Off Stephen Cheah's board.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah.
No, I mean, he played almost the entire season.
Turf toe never comes back. That's the good thing about
right.
it.
Well, hopefully he's fully healed. Austin Jackson had a much worse year this year than the previous year, but it is because he donated bone marrow to his sister who has an autoimmune disease in July and was not able to even lift weights from like July until I think week 4 of the season.
Not a team
football first. Yeah.
Not a team. Red flag.
No, honestly, you know what that made me think of, Tyler?
Huh?
You know who that made me think of?
Who?
Thomas Robinson.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Thomas Robinson was never physical though.
No, for sure. But this talk about keeping your sister, your family ahead of the team. Big red flag.
Don't like it.
All right, so that was the Dolphins' second pick. So right now they have Tua and an offensive lineman.
Herbert
and the offensive lineman.
Yep.
They moved back with the Chargers.
Yep.
Okay.
So 19th pick, we've got the Las Vegas. That still sounds weird to say. Las Vegas Raiders. This is one of the picks from the Khalil Mack trade. The last of the picks, I believe. They go cornerback out of Clemson, AJ Terrell. Mayock loves drafting from big schools. They drafted a Clemson corner last year as well. This seems a quarterback still in need. Yeah, they also have Hunter Renfro. AJ Terrell is a player that I've been told is going to go higher than people think, so I have him here at 19. Number 20, we get our first safety off the board, Xavier McKinney out of Alabama to the Jags, who need help again all over. Number 21.
That's that Rams pick. That's that Jalen Ramsey.
Yep. So we got 21. We got the Philadelphia Eagles. Kenneth Murray, linebacker out of Oklahoma, is a great story. He is the adopted older brother of 3 kids with special needs. So great story. Also a really good player. I mean, on-ball production is just outstanding. He's like a pretty sure bet to translate. Plus, he wore number 9 in college, and some people called him K9, which is pretty sweet.
I don't hate that. Why Murray over Queen?
So Queen just didn't have as much production, more of like a one-year wonder. Queen might be a little bit better pass protection or pass defense wise, but Kenneth Murray is just like a classic like see ball, get ball linebacker.
Okay, because watching Murray, he stood out every time I watched Oklahoma, and I'd seen him mock to the Patriots a lot, so I wasn't upset with it. And then I saw a lot of Patriots fans who were very much pushing for Queen over Murray. And I heard a lot of Queen could be like a souped up Gerard Mayo.
Could be. I mean, Queen certainly. LSU has churned out linebackers recently. I mean, going back, to just last year, they had Devin White, who was the 5th overall pick. You had Deion Jones, Quan Alexander. I mean, they've turned out some really good Kevin Minter, some really good linebackers recently, and Queen is the next in that line. He's going to be going very shortly. 22nd pick. This is Minnesota's after trading for Stephon Diggs. I have been going Jalen Johnson, cornerback out of Utah. The Vikings just love to draft corners in the first round. Like they've done it with Trey Waynes, Xavier Rhodes, Mike Hughes. Waynes and Rhodes are now gone. They're just going to look to the next one in that line. That's going to be Jalen Johnson. He's a big physical corner out of Utah. 23, the Pats. I have a trade. Oh boy. The Pats trading back. The Pats give up the 23rd pick for the 34th pick and the 75th pick, so a third rounder and a high second for the Indianapolis Colts to take Jordan Love out of Utah State, quarterback.
So you have the Colts paying Jacoby, Phil Rivers, and then investing their first in. Oh, this is their second first.
They don't have any first.
Yeah, they traded.
You're right. Okay, so they're gonna have that much, not draft capital, but I guess just team capital and 3 top quarterbacks.
Correct. I mean, it's not going to be a ton of money.
None of them top. That's why they got 3 of
them. It's a logical fit, and the Colts rely a little bit more on analytics, which like Jordan Love a little bit more than traditional scouts.
Do they really?
Yeah, I mean, even with his interceptions, were pretty bad.
Right.
I mean, the season before,
he went off.
Yeah.
A lot of that this year. I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, you have to take into account context, right? So Jordan Love lost his whole coaching staff. 9 offensive starters, the most starters on offense.
That's chaos.
10.
Him and literally one other person. He was like, "It's you and me, bro." Like,
right guard. Yeah, they're just like, "All right, I guess."
Yeah.
He turns an ankle and he's like, "Dude."
Yeah, that's chaos. I don't think I realized it was that. I knew he had lost like his receivers. I don't think I realized he lost all of his coaching staff.
Yeah, that's
even with all that, some of his interceptions are
bad.
The worst I've ever seen.
He got big hands though, man.
Huge
Very
hands.
Big hands. Huge.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if he was able to come out last year, he would have been a first round pick, no doubt, and been he was very high on teams boards going into this year. He just had a couple really bad games. Wake Forest is one that stands out, where he just like looked awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, pro prospects. I mean, he's got a very big, loose arm. Huge hands, good pocket mobility. They're calling him like kind of a poor man's Mahomes.
Yeah.
No.
I see where it's coming from as far as his mobility and ability to throw off platform. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the Senior Bowl. He had a throw in that game where he threw it 60 yards in the air, and it should have been caught for a touchdown. The receiver just lost it in the sun. So
maybe it's just bad luck. How does just keep happening to him? The whole team wants to get away from him. You think he's a bad apple?
Yeah. How many people went to his birthday party, Steven?
That is a very relevant question. Shout out Draft Day.
How cool is he? Yeah.
I don't know how many people went to his birthday party. But
he did. Like, even watching him throw again, just right in the chest of defenders. He did have some drops in the bucket too, like some really spectacular throws.
They all do.
No, that's what I mean. Would I give up that much? Like, if I'm the Patriots, I'm thrilled making that trade because we currently have 0 second-round picks. But I don't know. If we made that trade and then we were targeting, and I don't want to step on the rest of your mock, you may have this, and we were targeting San Francisco's 31 to get back in the first round, that's something I could be interested in.
Yeah. I mean, the difference between picking 31 and where have you guys traded back 34 is like...
Yeah. Well, you get that 5th year, and it's like we don't have to wait till tomorrow to get this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important for like quarterbacks just because you can control them a little bit extra, but with the new CBA, like, it's not going to be as big of a deal. All right, so we got pick 24. This pick would suck for me. The Saints taking Patrick Queen. They're going to pair him with Demario Davis. They're just going to have stud linebackers now. So That's going to be tough.
Keeps him in the state. That's solid.
Yep. 25, I've got Brandon Ayuk leapfrogging Justin Jefferson and being the 4th receiver taking to the Minnesota Vikings. I just have him because I think Jefferson is more of a – he did have a good 40 time. I think he ran a 4.42 or 4.43. But he's more of like a slot possession receiver. He's compared to like a Keenan Allen type, whereas they kind of have an Adam Thielen who, has caught deep balls, but is not, a take the top off the defense type guy. Ayuk is a really nice deep threat as well as guy after the catch. So I think he's a better match for that team.
So if you're going to commit to Kirk Cousins, then moving Diggs out and drafting. It's so funny the teams like always draft what they immediately traded. It's like, boy, we need a receiver now. Like, it's just very funny.
Houston's going to take a receiver.
That's what
they need one. Yeah, they got to.
That's what the Lions are going to do. They traded Darius Slay, and they're like, well, in the corner, good thing we have
Quandre Diggs. Yeah, it's like now we need some secondary help. Yeah.
Everything I've heard about Ayuk is he's much, much better than Harry, which is awesome.
Yes, because he sat behind N'Keal Harry 2 seasons ago when Harry, was coming up on his draft eligibility. But Ayuk is like dynamite after the catch. After CeeDee Lamb, he's going to be the best guy after the catch you have in the draft from receivers. And he just, he's a playmaker. All right, so next pick, I've got Miami, and they're going to go Justin Jefferson at 26. Great value pick here. Jefferson, one of the best receivers in the draft, gives his new quarterback a security blanket that can be underneath to uncover quickly. Then I've got another trade, pick 27. I've got the Lions coming up, trading the 35th pick and the 87th pick for 27. Oh, yeah. They trade the 35th and 85th pick for 27th and a 5th rounder, 133. They're going to go up and grab Iowa edge defender AJ Epinesa.
Who do they trade with?
The Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks have traded every first-round pick, traded down every first-round pick since 2012. So it is
doesn't matter or when.
Yeah. It's a lock that they're trading out of 27. The GM John Schneider he knows that he's not going to get every pick right, so he just values quantity over quality.
Are the Seahawks the smartest dumb team in the league? I feel like I feel like I hear them get more credit, and a lot of it like deserve credit, and also more criticism and deserve criticism.
I mean, they have a lot of weird picks. Even dating back, I'm pretty sure they drafted Jermaine Ifedi, a guard, in the first round when I feel like I remember like Mel Kiper screaming he'd like a 3rd round grade on him or something like that. They drafted Rashad Penny, who's like not even the best running back on their team.
Oh god!
In the first round,
started on that. Yeah.
And who was the fucking defensive end they took? Who turned Bruce Irvin? Where people were like, this is a terrible pick. Like it could have got him like the 4th.
Yeah.
They fall in love with their guy, or they're like, it's like, oh boy, a 6th round pick for Quandre Diggs. What a steal! Like Metcalf in the 2nd round home run. There's no in between.
Yeah, you remember their hits more than their misses, and they've had a bunch of both, right? Yeah. All right, so 28, I've got a guy I really like, Penn State edge defender Yetur Gross-Matos. Baltimore always just makes really good picks. Edge defender is a position of need right now. Matt Judon just got franchised. I'm sure they're going to look to address that position early.
Judon's a monster.
He is.
Absolute monster.
Added Calais Campbell too.
Yep. 29, I've got Tennessee sticking, and they're going to take defensive tackle Ross Blacklock out of TCU. They just traded Jarrell Casey, so that kind of fits a need there, even though they did draft Jeffrey Simmons last year.
Yeah.
30, I've got Green Bay taking wide receiver out of Baylor, Denzel Mims.
That's going to be a good-looking jersey. Mims in a Green Bay.
Yeah. 31, I've got another trade. The Niners moving back. They're going to move back to the 36th pick, and they're going to pick up an extra 4th rounder to the Giants. Giants draft Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan. He can play guard or center. He was a center in college. And then rounding out the first round, we got Zach Bond, linebacker out of Wisconsin. He's not like an edge rusher per se. I would put him more as an inside backer. He also had a diluted sample at the combine, which he explained to teams. Apparently, was
I was
just
doing weed,
drinking too much water.
Okay, yeah, been
Is
there.
that a red
We've
flag
all-
though?
It's the reddest flag.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my
who's this
first round.
linebacker? Sorry,
ahead.
who's this linebacker out of Wyoming that's starting to rise, as they like to say?
Yeah, I mean, in this season, there's always more risers than fallers. So yeah, I mean, I could see sorry, what's this guy's name? The linebacker. I have him in the mock draft. So many names. I've seen him going as high as like mid-second.
Let's see. Where'd he go to school?
Wyoming.
He's a linebacker. Who was talking about him on TV today?
Logan Wilson.
Logan Wilson, right.
Hmm.
I haven't watched a lot of him, but he is a riser as far as the linebackers go. The linebacker crop is like pretty interesting because you got guys like Willie Gay out of Mississippi who like could be like an early second round pick.
I'm 9 years old. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players here who.
He's gonna beat us both up.
Oh, he's gonna whip our ass good.
D1 linebacker gonna be
Yeah,
drafted.
it was him with the glasses said it. He's whiskers. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had Logan Wilson all the way down at 94 to the Packers.
Oh wow. I do love those though, because it really does. It's like, oh yeah, they loved him at 25, but somebody else fell. They didn't take him. Fell to 86. Like that's where he naturally would have went. Yeah.
It was a run on kickers for 12 picks inexplicably. So
yeah. Oh, man, yeah. You got to get yours. So.
The runs are what kill me in the draft because it's like that's why like we take Sony Michel and then the rest of like Chubb and all those other running backs go. It's like, oh no, one of them went. We might as well get ours now. Like, what's the logic behind that? Like, what if you take another position, everyone else is going to calm down?
Or if it's like, okay, I want my guy. Like, do you want your guy? You like, we just want whoever the running back. Yeah, like
that's chaos. Steven, who is your Tampa Bay lock this year?
For the Bucs specifically?
Yeah. Or do you have just a general lock you'd prefer to give?
I feel like I should be exempt like the casinos in Vegas that like are partial owners of the Celtics, like they can't give Celtics lines because I feel like I don't want to give away anything for the Bucs.
All right.
Fair. Okay, you have a lot just in the draft then, like something that you're like,
and not like Burrow.
Yeah, like, Washington loves Chase Young. Like, a non-top 10 lock, like that you feel pretty. It's like they're pretty honed in.
I like Isaiah Wilson with the Dolphins. It could be 18, it could be 26. I think that Isaiah Wilson to the Dolphins is going to be my lock.
Okay.
No DeAndre Swift in the first round. I feel like I saw.
I didn't have him in the first round.
Okay.
I do like him as a player. I also have him going to Miami, but at the 39th pick. I know you're not a fan of the running backs.
Yeah, not first round. I'm not, but 39, love it.
Yeah, agreed. I think there will be like a run on running backs in the second round. I think DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think all these guys can go around too. Maybe even Cam Akers.
You trust Jonathan Taylor? He went to Wisconsin.
I know. The part that worries me, he's had over 900 carries in college. That's like
listen, those Wisconsin guys, that's how they do numbers. They get carries too. Like
yeah.
Numbers for 1,800 yards, 3 straight years.
So he averages a fumble every, I think it's 52 touches.
No,
that's a lot. He is really,
I'm out on him.
He is a really good player running between the tackles, and just like an instinctual runner. And he has 4.39 speed, and he's like 226 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I can be convinced of him. I don't love him, but I think he could be a good NFL back in the right system.
Yeah, I'm not picking against John. I don't think he's like some generational Barkley type, but I'm not picking against Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm fine picking against Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he plays running back, of course.
Yeah. There's again, if it's him or DeAndre Swift, I go Swift every time. I think I like Dobbins better. Like, there's a couple guys I would choose over Taylor, and that I didn't know that one fumble every 52. That's what every 3 games. Like,
so the knock on him is the fumbles is because he's so strong, he doesn't go down on first contact. So a lot of times he's just in the middle of a scrum and somebody will come punch it out. The thinking is with, obviously bigger, stronger, faster guys in the pros, he's going to go down quicker and have less fumbles. I can't validate it.
Or the stronger guys hit him much harder.
Right.
Like, listen, the Big Ten linebackers are poking it out.
Yeah.
And you're putting him up there. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb stands him up. Like, come on, they're gonna rip his arms off with the ball.
Yeah. No, it's a fair argument. I'm not gonna say I don't like him because I do like him, but I don't love him as a prospect. If he goes to the right team, I think he will be very good.
Tyler, do you have any locks?
No. I didn't want to say no Trayvon Diggs first round.
So this was actually an adjustment I made today. I had Trayvon Diggs going 32nd. I moved him out. Where did I move him to? I moved him to 37 to Detroit.
Okay.
Just a little bit of
okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he went in the first round. He's someone that I've been hearing some good things about going in the first round. Just a few things that I heard separately kind of messed up all team needs and stuff like that, and kind of he was the casualty of that.
Yeah, I liked him, and then I found out who his brother was. I had no idea. Now I'm in.
That's why I couldn't have Minnesota taking him.
Fair, very fair.
Did you have the tackle from Houston in your first round?
Josh Jones, I did not. Nope.
Miami jumping up and taking whoever guy.
Yeah, I have them. There being like a run on tackle starting early second with Ezra Cleveland going the first pick of this round, and then Austin Jackson not far after, and then Josh Jones a little bit lower.
And you don't have Fulton either, right?
Christian Fulton, I did not have. I have him going 47 to Jacksonville.
What was the knock on him?
I mean, so LSU definitely turns out like a lot of good corners, and apparently has the demeanor of like a Tre'Davious White, which is obviously what you want to have.
Right.
He saw a lot of targets this year and got burned quite often, but he's also playing across from the best corner in the nation, and Derek Stingley, who's a true freshman.
Right.
So they kind of have to throw that way a lot. So
with Grant Delpit back there, like,
right.
I don't mind a guy getting burnt. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, right. What happens on the everything, the 95% of other play, 98% of other play.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I think second round is kind of where he belongs. I think that's where he goes. If I have him going to Jacksonville, if he goes to the right team and is able to develop properly and get good reps, then I think he could be a fine player. But yeah, he was a guy that he was a guy that was generating first round buzz very early. But has fallen off.
And no T. Higgins either. You see him as is he just like too slow?
Yeah, he ran like a 4.58, I believe, which is not the ideal time you want first year. He's a good guy, when the ball's in the air. I have him going 38th to Indy. I think that's the exact type of receiver that Phillip Rivers thrives with. I mean, you look at Mike Williams, you look at Vincent Jackson, these bigger bodied receivers. I think that's kind of what he likes. And looking at Indy's roster, they don't have a lot of guys like that. T.Y. Hilton is probably the frailest number one receiver in the league. So I could see the Colts going after a T. Higgins type or like a Michael Pittman Jr. type or one of these big bodied guys.
I'm looking in 41 career games. Jonathan Taylor has fumbled 18 times.
Yep.
15 of those were recovered by the other team, which I know is really random luck. But Jesus, 18 times. Basically every other game. That's where it's like,
yeah.
That's a lot.
Do you have who's your lock to be a good player? Like not necessarily where they go, but it's like a prospect you like, non-top 10. Again, like it's like I just think wherever they go.
It's a good question. I think Justin Jefferson. Is like has a lot of Jarvis Landry in him, and the fact that he's just a slippery slot receiver. He can make things happen. I don't think there's too much bust with him. I mean, obviously he played in a very high-powered offense with LSU last year, but I don't see him going to the pros and all of his skills translate.
Right. I think he's probably faster than Jarvis Landry too, right? Like straight in.
Yeah. I mean, hard to not be.
Unless a very few not.
He ran a very fast time, but it was, it's all, I don't really care what you run on the 40. It's his play speed. I mean, he plays not as fast as that.
Who's your favorite non-first round quarterback?
I love Jake Fromm personally, but it's really hard to bet against Jalen Hurts. So Jake Fromm, I think the big knock on him was he has very small hands, 8 and just a shade under 9 inches, 8 and 11 twelfths, or like one whatever of those under 9 inches. And then his arm strength has been big critique, but based on the way he throws, it appears he can get a little bit more velocity if he puts his hips into a little bit more and encompasses his lower body. So I think that's something he can improve, and his decision-making, football character is all outstanding. So he's a guy that I really like.
Where do you have him going
at? Pretty far down.
Like third? What round? You don't have to give me the team, but like what?
Let me see. 3rd round, 88th overall to the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Do you have the Patriots taking a quarterback or no? Or at least not in the first 3 rounds.
I do not.
You got a Hoyer. What are you?
Yeah.
It's sick. No, I've liked Fromm. People love to yell at me online for that. I've seen a lot of Jalen Hurts buzz to us recently, which I don't fully understand. I wouldn't hate it. I just don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we ended up with Fromm, or I don't even think I hate Eason that much. I'm not like in love with him, but I don't think I'd hate it.
I don't.
The Bucks are.
I've been on Fromm before Eason.
Me too.
Yeah.
The Bucks have been commonly tied to Eason, and like I get it because he's like a very Bruce Arians style of quarterback with just like big guy, rocket arm, like
he's
not
too tall.
Ryan Mallett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean from what I've heard, his work ethic is not great, and he definitely did. He definitely didn't take advantage of the situation in Georgia. I'll say that much.
No, he sure didn't.
Hence Fromm and Fields coming along. Both of them was just like, oh yeah, this job is lunch meat. Like we're
yeah, that's like everyone wants to bash Fromm. Like he made Fields transfer. I don't think that's a small feat.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eason, Eason
Tebow made Cam transfer too.
Yeah,
that's also true.
Well, so the laptops.
Yeah, I just don't. Eason's like tall and arm. It's everything I feel like they traditionally like. I'm out.
It's fair.
Hackenberg vibes.
Yeah, I don't even think he's that bad.
We'll see. What did he do at Washington this year? Do you know off the top? Do you remember all the great?
No, I remember there were like 2 Saturdays early where he was buzzing. Like I saw his name a lot. Like, oh man, like Georgia kept the wrong guy. Like, and they weren't even talking about Fields. But like, as the season progressed, saw his name a whole lot less.
Wonder why that was.
My lock. I have 2 for the Patriots. 2 locks. Okay. And I think one of them just became even lockier with this newly acquired 4th round pick we just acquired. We've been hammering Georgia in recent years, hammering them. Like that's Belichick's new favorite SEC like place to pluck talent from. And I think he would have drafted this guy already. He just didn't come out. Rodrigo Blankenship, kicker, 4th round.
Okay, I can see that. Replace Gostowski.
4th round. I'm a laugh at his ass.
Listen, there's a man here who saw his team take kicker on the 2nd.
At least he was a Hall of Fame guy, though.
My other one, Tyler, we are going to be looking for wide receiver help as we always do.
Yeah.
I think it comes in the form of your boy, Lynn Bowden.
Big fan.
Those are my two.
I had him going. I had Bowden in the third round, into the third round, 101st overall to Seattle.
Ooh, Seattle. I'd like either one of those. I would be fine. I approve. Yes.
Listen, he's got a much better chance at also being quarterback in New England.
Again, Seattle's good and bad. He might also be
right.
He's just taking snaps from Russell Wilson.
He's center. But yeah, those are my two. I do think we're going to end up taking one of those two linebackers in the first. I've seen a lot of that AJ Espensa to us. That just doesn't feel like a us kind of pick.
He's a heavy-handed edge rusher. He could kick inside. I mean, he's going to be a nice player, but yeah, it's tough to. He's not a sexy pick by any means.
It's not even that, because we never have the sexy pick like ever. So it's not even that. It's just I feel like we always get mocked these edge rushers like last year or 2 years ago. It was like, Patriots are going to take Sam Hubbard. Like, no, we're not. Well, why would we do that? We're never going to
play lacrosse.
I know. Well, yeah, that was why. That was like the only reason why. It was like, well, this guy, in case Belichick wants to move over to the Boston Cannons, he'll take him with him. Like, no,
right defensive end.
Yeah, we took one of those last year. That was my lock last year, Stephen. Jay, need I remind people? Chase Winovich.
We both had our locks last year.
We did. That's why I feel very confident this year. I'm not confident we're going to take both, but I am confident we're going to end with one of them.
Let me ask you this, Stephen Cheah. It's been so long decided that it's really not even a debate anymore. Is Tua versus Burrow? Is it only health at this point?
Yes. If Tua had never gotten hurt and had a clean bill of health throughout his entire college career, I think Tua would be the number 2 pick, hands down, and there would be debate in the Bengals war room who they're going to pick.
I was gonna say if he never gets hurt, I think he goes 1 without question. If he never gets hurt,
I don't know about without question. It's hard to have a season that Burrow just had and say without question.
For sure, but you like part of that was. Like Bama wasn't Bama, Tua was hurt. Like some of that was ties in, but now LSU was great, but
I think what it opens up is the possibility of Cincinnati trading. You know what I mean? They're like, we know we're going to get one of these guys at 3, for instance.
That could open up the possibility of like Washington trading, because then you could have a situation where it's like Andrew Luck RG3, where you just get too big of a ransom for the number 2 pick, and then Detroit falls into Chase Young.
That's where I wonder. It's like, okay, like going into number 2, we are fine with Haskins, but if we get a call that's like, boy, somebody's throwing 3 picks at us or something like that, or if we think we know somebody else likes Haskins or something, like we might even just take 2 only to hold him for now. We just know he has that much value. Right. People are just going crazy over him.
Do you think Washington is still in play for like that pick? That number 2 pick is still in play for Tua?
Thanks a lot. No. Yeah. You think there's any chance Gettleman does the same?
Does the same in terms of what?
The Cardinals. Just like we drafted a quarterback. We like him, but this guy's just better.
No. I mean, I saw that they were like they checked out Herbert a lot. I think he's just trying to drum up trade interest. I can't imagine that they're going to take a quarterback with the same GM that they had a year after. I mean, Daniel Jones had a lot of turnovers.
Cardinals did.
Yeah, that technically.
And it worked. That's really the only reason, because I didn't think it would work.
That's because Cliff it worked. Yeah. The coach had specific experience with that quarterback. Joe Judge has been a special teams and receivers coach. I don't anticipate.
He got the job, man. I don't.
He did get the job. So, people don't like to talk about it. You got the job.
There's no ways around it, Jay.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be a good Thursday night. We're doing a live draft special sponsored by Bose headphones and Mac Weldon. So we're excited about that.
We don't do free ads on this program. What are you most excited for about the virtual draft? Like, what team do you think is going to fuck up the first? Like, what do you anticipate?
The first technical error.
The first technical error, apparently they did a run through yesterday, and it was rocky to start because not everyone went on mute immediately. So it was just a lot of talking.
These are all like 58. Yeah, these are all 58-year-old men. So yeah.
I've got breaking news, I've got news regarding the breaking news that I will happily break exclusively on Mickstape. I don't know if even Schefter has this yet.
Oh, wow.
But that's okay because this won't come out.
Gronk passes physical.
Gronk
did not pass his physical.
Gronk is playing quarterback. Brady tight end.
So the Pats get a 4th round pick from the Bucks. That's our compensatory 4th round pick. Suck it. That's basically like a top of the 5th round pick. We have a regular 4th round pick too. I'm breaking that exclusively on Mickstape.
Is that how they said it? With the vulgarities and whatnot? Yeah.
No, that's me adding in my fan.
Improving.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, you traded a 4th round / 5th round pick for a wrestler. I'm proud of you guys. You guys are
24/7 champ.
Yeah, you're right. If you're gonna trade for a wrestler, make it a champion wrestler. You know, that would be incredible though if he's still holding the belt in the middle of the game. Someone just you see like Randy Orton at midfield. Gronk's like, "Fuck."
Yeah, come and get it. I did say all the time.
Gronk gets knocked out with concussion, is laying down in midfield, and the ref just pins him.
Yeah, exactly. One of the on-field refs takes off his ref uniform to have another WWE ref uniform on underneath.
Does the count?
Yeah, listen, you guys are giving off big time Eagles dream team vibes right now.
Nobody said dream team. You're saying dream team. You're the one that's taking.
You just said dream team.
You're the ones that taking these legends that gave their bodies, put their careers on the line for you each and every Sunday, and you worship them. And now the second they're off your team, like, he stinks. He's the worst.
What did I say? Stinks. I just said he was going to lose his championship belt. That doesn't have anything to do with this sport.
You're just saying, oh well, he's just a wrestler, and Tom Brady's he's just a 43-year-old.
You told me to suck it after. I've never brought up his age. I didn't bring up his age once. Tyler did.
I didn't bring up his age.
You sure did, because you said they have to draft a quarterback because their current one's old.
Doesn't every quarterback's old, man? They're all going to be 30 one day, Mick.
Not Stidham.
No, he'll never be. No, knock on wood.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, no. Listen, you yourself said you were somehow the 4th best team in the league, 2nd in your own division.
Correct, 4th or 5th. But yes, 2nd.
Does this move you above the Saints now that you have Gronk?
No, doesn't change much.
What would change much
to get us above the Saints?
Yeah,
I mean, one of their players just had like a terrible accident. Like,
I don't like the way we're ending this show, man. This Stidham and now
the Saints are a better team than the Bucs. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, I'll say that I do think completely they're a better team. Is there any chance that they pushed it 1 year too far with Breeze and it's like they just don't have is that like that's your
maybe?
Tyler, I think they pushed it 2 years too far.
Listen, I don't disagree. Again, when they needed like deep ball action, Drew Brees was like 3rd in line last year. So the correct answer is to give him another $25 million.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have the quarterback advantage over the Saints. There's no question about it.
Yeah. And Drew Brees, he's already signed a deal with the Saints.
With
sorry, with NBC Sunday Night Football.
Is this your source?
Yeah.
I mean, he has. It's signed for the next year. Not like this upcoming season, but like after he's playing his retirement, like it's over.
Was there some great Drew Brees bidding war between the networks? Like, why? Why was that a thing?
Everyone's trying to get the next Tony Romo, man.
That's got to be it, right? Because it was like Cutler was supposed to be in the game and then just wasn't.
Yeah,
right.
Then Witten was like, "I'm still playing ball." So yeah, I feel like people are like, we got to get Drew Brees. Brees like, okay, all right, yeah. Listen, if you're gonna make me play for one more year, $25 million, okay, but no more, not $1 more.
I really like Dan Orlovsky on ESPN, but nobody's tuning into a game to be like, wow, Dan Orlovsky. Like, I mean, he's the guy who's best known for running out of the end zone and his safety against the Vikings.
I feel like I heard some coaching buzz for him.
Maybe. I mean, he's really good on like Get Up and like doing like stuff for social and TV, but he probably has a lot more chops than Drew Brees, but Drew Brees has the name cachet of being like, okay, first ballot Hall of Famer, soon to be, Drew Brees is in the booth.
We've seen the name cachet not work like time and time again. I don't know why there was this great, especially a year out. Like I could see if he was like, yeah, I'm done. And like he did a couple of test runs and like, oh yeah, this guy's the real deal. But I don't remember some like great like interview, some great quote Drew Brees gave. Like I don't think he's going to be good at it.
Yeah,
don't matter. Wooden wasn't either. Like, you don't have to be good at it. He's a face people know. Like Peyton's the ideal.
Peyton's good at it,
but he won't do the like Monday night. He's the ideal. No, they can't get him, so go to Drew Brees. Can't get Brady. You go to Drew Brees. Phillip Rivers will probably, but I feel like people know he's not really. He's going to go back and have more kids.
I'd love to hear Favre do it.
Favre would be good.
That would be great.
Favre would be incredible.
Jameis, I would love to hear Jameis and Tess.
Just Jameis and Bugger. No control.
Yeah. Just a pick six. Jameis is like, hey man, I saw what he was going for. Like
yeah, it's who do you think's the team that's gonna fuck up?
Gonna fuck up what, the draft?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so hard to say.
Like, is this going to be the longest first round ever? Just like physical time?
No, I was at the longest first round ever. They've reduced the time, so it's 10 minutes in between picks. It used to be 15. I was at the draft. I think it was 2007 or 2008. It was like it was over 7 hours.
Did you stay all 7?
Of course.
What kind of a question is that?
Yeah,
of course.
He thought it was too short at the time.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're just getting started.
It's very fun. But yeah, I mean, it'll be probably about 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So yeah, it'll be about 3.5 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours.
Over under 1.5 teams who missed their pick.
Way under. Nobody will miss their pick.
Okay.
The time may come close to running out, but nobody will. They're not going to do like the skip. Everyone realized nobody's going to try and be an asshole and save a couple $100,000 on a player to like just look like a total doof.
I don't even mean that way. I just think like, oh fuck, since we're not in the same room together, like I was on the phone too long and missed the clock.
No, they're doing a lot of practice runs, so I think that we're going to be good.
I'd hope so. I saw the Lions have like a full Winnebago outside like the dude's house because they can't be together, so they're being like as close as possible, making sure.
I feel like if you're taking a guy in the top 5, like how are you? You would have to do Tua like that, right? Like we're working you out somehow, like legal or not. Like the NFL is just going to be like, well, listen, we cannot be close. We cannot see that hip. Okay. You got any prospects you just don't like? Like you're just like, I don't care where they go. Like you're just out on. Like you're fine missing on them. Like they might hit, but you're like, I
don't like CJ. I don't like CJ Henderson out of Florida. I don't really like Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia. Jordan Love, I think it really depends on what team he goes to. Jacob Eason, same thing. Yeah, I think those guys, Jonathan Taylor, depending on team. If the Bucks pick him, I'm going to love him, but
sure.
It depends on what team he goes to. I think he really needs the right team to be successful. Yeah, I think those are the main guys. I really think undervalued guys like Jalen Hurts, Van Jefferson, Michael Pittman Jr., Antoine Winfield Jr. out of Minnesota. I like him. Yeah, those are the guys. I'm not big on Willie Gay Jr. too.
I am.
Yeah.
He's a junior too?
Yeah, Willie Gay Jr. Mississippi State.
What's happening with Tyler? He is.
Willie Gay Jr. No starts, no career starts. Also, So he should definitely be a starter for an NFL team.
So he's Dion Waiters?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it. What are your prospects for your Knicks since I brought up Dion Waiters? Or how are you feeling moving forward?
I mean, hopefully they get a nice bounce of the ping pong ball, but I mean, we're not doing anything short term. I mean, RJ Barrett's numbers don't look very enticing. But he's put together certainly some like pretty good games and shown like the ability. I mean, he's a volume shooter. I mean, that's not what's very in vogue nowadays, but he's a guy, he's not a shooter, he's a scorer. And
right.
I think that he can be a good player, certainly, and I'm still happy with the pick. But yeah, you'd like to see some better, especially free throw shooting from him.
Well, yeah, that was super alarming.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a 60% free throw shooter and one of your main jobs is to get to the line, I feel like that's a problem.
What number player do you think he can be on like an actual contending team? Like your second best player, your third best player?
Just RJ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not ruling no, I'm not ruling him totally. I mean, he's what, 20 years old now? I'm not going to say he can never be a number one. I'm not going to say that. Okay, well, it's still too young.
I'll say it about Knox too while we're here.
All right.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Knox just has no.
Knox is like younger than Barrett.
Knox just has like no confidence. I mean, they took him. They signed like 4 power forwards. Guys.
Yeah. Who could blame him? Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's gonna be okay. He still has like such a crisp shot, such a great athlete. I just want to go back to those summer league days where he was just tearing it up. I was like, this guy's in the draft.
Frankie Smokes, Damian Johnson.
Ntilikina looked pretty good towards the end of the season.
I feel like he usually does. Like
when he plays, yeah.
No, but he was like playing with confidence and like he had like a couple like double doubles. He's like, I just need Leon Rose, who's the new president, to like stick with the young guys and we'll be good. Like, I don't know why they signed like Bobby Portis. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Taj Gibson.
Like Marcus Morris worked out because we traded.
I was like, at least they got a pick for him.
But like, you also stunted the growth of your other first round pick. So
you just punted on Dennis Smith Jr. Like signing.
Yeah.
Who do you want this year? I don't know if I missed that part where my internet cut out.
How high can we get up? Like,
let's see. Let's say
you get the number one pick. Who do you take? Wiseman?
I don't know. No, absolutely not.
LaMelo?
Ooh.
LaMelo?
I like LaMelo. I don't know.
I do too, but New York, LaMelo?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. He's not going to be that high, and I don't think his measurables are going to be that good, but I really like Cole Anthony. But I need to do a lot more work on the draft.
I just did a random roll of the dice. The Knicks got the number 3 pick.
That's pretty good. I mean, this isn't like a historic like number one. Like it's not like a Zion where it's like this is the guy. So number 3 could basically be as good as number 1. I mean, number 4 was a few years ago.
Yeah, we took number 3, and he turned out to be the best in that draft.
So would you take Cole Anthony just 3 there?
On his age and wingspan.
Would you take Cole Anthony 3, like, and just be fine with it?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen him going that high in quite a while, so probably not.
I was gonna say, listen, but hey, if you love a guy, like right now, I'm seeing Obi topping 3, so anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, Zion was projected like the number 5 through 7 for like a year until like
they start playing basketball. Yeah,
and they're like, now clear 1.
I'm like, wow,
No, I think the Knicks, they shouldn't be worried about like positions and shit like that. But why are you so out on Wiseman?
The Knicks just have Mitchell Robinson, who's like a nice player.
He was never projected to go 1 in the draft.
Correct, but
he also loves fouling out.
That's true. He has like a lot of foul issue problems.
We don't know what James Wiseman loves. He never played.
He loves money, is for sure, which I respect.
I was gonna say, take him 1.
Mitchell Robinson wouldn't halt me from taking a guy. Obviously, there are other positions, and if you're like, no, we love LaMelo, no, we love Anthony Edwards. Although Anthony Edwards and RJ Barrett may not be the best idea.
Right. Yeah.
Is RJ good enough to be? Do y'all have the luxury of drafting for need instead of just talent?
No, but it's like is Anthony Edwards that much better than a Wiseman or a LaMelo or like a Killian Hayes that I'm going to try and trade RJ Barrett, who you're not going to get?
No, I just say trade. Listen, we just saw Sexton and Garland. Like, I didn't say trade him, not yet at least.
That didn't work.
It's the knit. What do you think is going to work? What do you think the correct answer? Like, what?
For sure. A great point. A tremendous point.
We done laughing at you, Steve. Yeah, if I agree, if they do just need to commit, like whatever. Like this should have been the year where there was no Portis or Elfrid Payton or none of that. Mitchell Robinson should have got the opportunity to foul out of 82 games if need be. Knox should have, Dennis Smith Jr., all those guys. Then maybe you have a better pick, but you know more about what's going forward. Like, I don't know what you could take from any of these guys going forward. Reggie Bullock, you have Wayne Ellington for some reason. Like, there's just a lot of pieces there.
I'm hoping you guys stitch this in a little bit earlier, but in the seemingly never-ending lockdown world that we're going through, it's really hard to stay motivated, especially when you're supposed to work from home.
Yeah.
But thanks to people at Death Wish Coffee, makers of the world's strongest coffee, you can stay caffeinated to do whatever you do when the gym is closed, when baseball isn't happening, RIP and P. When you can't improve your game on the back nine, when you're waiting for The Bachelor to come back on, any of these, Death Wish coffee is a dark roast blend that has double the amount of caffeine than your average coffee cup with a smooth, bold taste. Death Wish coffee will wake you up and get you ready to take the day on. Death Wish coffee is available in whole bean, ground, death cups, and cold brew. Crack a can of cold brew with a smooth, strong taste that packs 300 milligrams caffeine per can.
Wow.
Subscribe and save 10% on coffee that's shipped right to your door when you want it. We want to help you get in the coffee game because right now it's pretty weak. When you go to deathwishcoffee.com/tape, you can enter to win a MacBook Pro, Death Wish Cold Brew, Barstool Sports merchandise, and a year's worth of Death Wish coffee. That's deathwishcoffee.com/tape. If you're looking for some coffee ASAP, you can also receive 15% off your entire purchase with promo code Mickstape, MICKSTAPE. Check it out now. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a coffee drinker, but we got a ton shipped to my house. My wife loves Death Wish coffee now. Big Death Wish coffee household, even though coffee is not a taste for me. My wife is a coffee drinker, so it's absolutely terrific.
There's some for everybody.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, they also they are not skimp with their product. When you order it, you're going to get a lot of it.
You're going to get a lot.
Throughout my back,
more than you need.
Trying to get that box inside my house.
Yeah, I have to hop.
Very hefty box.
Thank you, sir.
I have to hop. But thank you very much for having me on. This is one of my favorite traditions.
Of course.
Thanks.
What date is your podcast release every week so the people can go find it?
Going Deep podcast. You may recognize me, Stephen Cheah, from the Going Deep podcast. Literally thousands of people.
That's where I knew you from.
Literally thousands of people listen to it weekly.
Wow.
And we come out every Thursday. We're actually coming out Wednesday of this week. By the time this drops, this will already have been out. We have a talk with he's the fourth pick in my mock draft, Tristan Wirfs of the Iowa Hawkeyes, probably soon to be the New York Giants. And then also a big, meaty draft chat. So after you listen to this, go listen to Going Deep with my chat with Dane Brugler of The Athletic. We go through every single position group to get you ready for Thursday and Friday night.
Wow. Yeah, definitely go listen to that.
Yeah, just forget about Saturday night, huh? Do some work for me one time, Cheah.
There is no Saturday night. It's Saturday day. One time, watch day 3.
Oh, are they? Wait, so are they doing 2 through 7?
No, 1 on Thursday, 2 and 3 on Friday, and then 4 through 7 on Saturday. I think it starts at noon. It might start at 11.
And 4. Yuck.
Nope.
No, but enjoy that 4th round compensatory pick, Coley. What a sucker. You thought it was a regular 4th rounder. Nope. It was the pick they add on to the 4th round. What a fleecing by Jason Light and the Bucks, taking Bill Belichick and the Pats for an absolute ride.
To the cleaners.
Like a David Ortiz home run.
We've never done anything with compensatory picks before. No one. We've never gotten anyone good.
Any good quarterbacks?
Maybe.
Maybe the best of all time?
Right. So that kind of feels like maybe it was a bad trade for Tampa.
What team is that guy on nowadays?
What has he done for that team?
Lost the game, Mick.
Yeah, undefeated.
That's true. Very true.
0 career playoff losses for our team. How many is that for you guys?
I don't know, like 4? Like
billion.
Noted loser, Tom.
Listen, he got 4 to Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, it was only the 2 New York teams could really beat him. That was it.
Boy, you talk about could not take the Big Apple.
No. Yeah, you worried that guy doesn't rise to the occasion? That's your quarterback? Yikes.
I'm just happy just sitting on my regular 4th round pick. If I just had my compensatory 4th round pick, I'd be steaming mad. But thank God I have my regular one.
Yeah.
I like how you ended this by bashing your quarterback.
Always a spin from Coley. Always a spin.
You did. You just called him a big playoff loser. Weird thing to say.
Undefeated in Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
Remind him.
Greatest quarterback of all time.
All right. See you later, pal.
All right. See you guys.
What a wild ending.
Oh boy. How you gonna get out of that box he got you in?
She double taped it. I don't see how
I was gonna say you call the fire department, they might be there by supper.
That guy was losing constantly in New England. Nah.
Left and right, man.
The 3rd highest paid player in the league.
Couldn't be us.
No.
Oh wait, it is us. Yeah.
Oh man, so yeah, that's this year's NFL draft. You don't have to watch it. Stephen Cheah just broke down where everyone's going.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be watching the real draft. Gonna look just like ours here. So you might as well watch our draft show. Yeah.
I assume this went way smoother than the actual one will.
Nah, there's gonna be some hiccups.
Big ones.
I can't. The Raiders have 2 picks. There's gonna be some hiccups. Like, come on now.
Yeah, he had the Lions trading back in and doing all like that's not happening.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. Like, just somebody got to pick up that phone. That's where it's gonna break down. It's like we would have did the trade, but they were on instant message typing back.
But yeah, we will. We'll see you guys this weekend with more live watches, YouTube. Subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you guys then.
That's it.